I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe. It begins!
Celeste shape, running with insane speed to leave mouth agape. Forces silver and red steel with sharp claws. Merda Zoids charge and sprints with cyber jaws. Seething red techno eyes and go for war. Merda Zoids with velociraptor lore. Beam cannons and missile launchers all primed, and vast war machines attack well timed. Runners on it the race, the Zoids will fight. Silver and red droid might, agile and quick with laser sight. Merda's fleet-footed steel dinosaurs bite. Ancient anti-blast machines on quick feet. Merda sprint over planets, foot fleet. Lightning fast scout Zoids by Republic foes. Merda's attack on sight to helic woes. Empire Zoids so fast that they can't be caught. Merdas have a land speed to make danger fraught. Lightly armored but lethal all the same. Merda Zoids are for the Celeste's name. For the Celeste's Zoids will fight. Silver and red droid might, agile and quick with laser sight. Merda's fleet-footed steel dinosaurs bite. tech, advanced science in the field of the mech. Murders replaced as technology passed, but all remember the lethal speed fast. Runners on it for race, their swords will fight. Silver and red droid might.
The ways of destiny are strange indeed. Though it seems as though the Zoids must battle among themselves for all eternity, fate provides them with an escape in the shape of their deadliest foes, the Red Zoids. I remember how I, the Namer, last of the Zoidarians, stood witness over the birth of the Red Zoids. I was returning to Zoidstar. The Zoids under my command were in need of repairs and fuel. We never completed our journey. Our ship made a forced landing on Zoidstar's blue moon. I nearly perished in the crash. The Blue Moon was a world vastly different to Zoidstar. Cold, airless, uninhabited. To survive, the Zoids changed. Where the first Zoids were cold creatures of metal, the Zoids of the Blue Moon became adapted to their new environment. Their bodies now generated heat. Their blue shells became red, and these Zoids did not battle among themselves, but cast around in search of others to turn into creatures like themselves. Thus they became Red Zoids, terrible metal monsters whose only driving force was the defeat of the Blue Zoids and the destruction of all life in the galaxy.
Vicious monster machines invade Zoidstar. Mutant cybernetic beasts from afar. Icy Blue Moon, the home, but now they come. Red Zoids marching forth to the steel war drum. The Red Horn commands the red mutant machines, forcing iron and steel with evil genes. Colored silver and red, they seek ruin. Victory for the Hellrunners is shoo-in. Hellrunner! Commands the red mutant machines, forging iron and steel with evil genes. Colored silver and red, they seek ruin. Victory for the Hellrunners is shoo-in. Hellrunners, born at those destroyed jars. Hellrunners, red machines 7 meters large. Hellrunners, laser guns and missiles discharge. Hellrunners, fierce red swords sink any part. Red machines 7 meters large. Hellrunners, laser guns and missiles discharge. Hellrunners, fierce red Zoids sink any barge. The blue Zoids race as the red Zoids attack. Hellrunners lead the assault right on track. Silver and red dinosaur robots black. Red mutants of red Zoid fight, slash and whack. Receiving hatred, the Hellrunners fight. Death to all blue Zoids before red Zoid might. All who won't turn will instead be destroyed. Zoidstar cannot hold too tight, so Android. Hellrunners, on at those destroyed stars. Hellrunners, red machines 7 meters large. Hellrunners, laser guns and missiles discharge. Hellrunners, fierce red Zoids think any barge. Blue thieving hatred, the Hellrunners fight. Death to all blue Zoids before red Zoid might. All who won't turn will instead be destroyed. Zoidstar cannot hold two types of android. Blue Guardians rise to repel red Zoids. Red mutants will not be cast to the voids. Hellrunners burn with hatred for their foes. Red Horn's underlings will bring Zoidstar woe. Hellrunners, on at those destroyed stars. Hellrunners, red machines 7 meters large. Hellrunners, laser guns and missiles discharge. Hellrunners, fierce red Zoids sink any barge. Hellrunners, on at those destroyed stars. Hellrunners, red machines 7 meters large. Hellrunners, laser guns and missiles discharge. Hellrunners, red Zoids sink any barge.
It is the never-ending battle between red and blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight.
The Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.